but you ought to identify with him because he had the most powerful community development we have known in the last century in this country. The most powerful one, bar none. What other organization of black people had its own bank, its own nationwide newspaper? What other group of black people had schools coast to coast? I mean, not one school, not two schools, coast to coast. The University of Islam was all over America. What other group you could go into any city and find you a bean pie, a fish sandwich, and you know it was good? He didn't want to go back to Africa on Delta. Who else was talking about thousands of acres of farmland for everybody? Who was importing food for our communities? Now, I don't care if you don't like how many wives he had. That's a whole nother story. But what you need to understand is that what he did for our communities is worthy of our identification. We've got to see it. That's the point. That's the point. Last but not least, the way to get free is to do what everybody cannot take an excuse for not doing. You want to know what's to be done? You have got to do it. Service, commitment. Everybody has got to commit themselves to doing something. Something. Regularly and consistently. Y'all got to stop being jived. I get so sick of us. Yeah, brother, I'm going to be there. And what time you want me there? I'll be right there. You see this crazy former slave? 2 weeks later, oh man, I sure forgot. But if the white man tell him to be there, he'll be there, scratching. Yeah, boss, here I am. Look, these things don't work unless you make them work. You know, why hasn't this place been bought and renovated yet? I mean, why is it still, listen, this belongs to us here. It should represent us. We ought to have indirect lighting coming up out the floor. We should have platforms that rise and fall, seats that are so soft you have to fight to stay awake in here. You ought to have all kinds of artwork imported from the best black artists. Outside, you ought to be able to see this place for miles a while around.